Hello folks, and welcome back to my channel, the Scottish Model Railway Guy. Now if you've been here before, you know I've been working on this whole zone quite a lot. I built this bank and shops recently. This is my wee pride and joy, which looks fantastic, and over here we've got a corner shop. Over here there's some stuff been going on that I've been modifying a bit. However, it's left me with this little problem. In theory, how do people get from this side of the street to this side of the street, because there's a hedge in the way, but also to make it a bit prettier. So what the plan is to take that on. Now this is what I'm talking about when I say it's all bit by bit. You can plan meticulously all you like, but at the end of the day we're going to make, I wouldn't call them mistakes, creative choices that you need to address at some point. So that's what I'm going to address today, so hang on. And what we're going to do is we're going to make a little park. Now, hopefully it turns out well, but we shall find out, so hang on, here we go. So, if you've been at this channel before, you know I do an awful lot with PVA glue. So I'm going to mix that up first, 50% PVA glue, 50% water, give it a wee swirl, and we're ready for pretty much anything. So yeah, challenge one is to create the gap over here. Now you can't see this, but the biggest challenge for me is actually reaching over and not disturbing anything, and to try and do it left-handed would be a bit of a nightmare. So I'm thinking, rather than try and slice it, because it is glued down, I'm going to try and cut it with scissors and then pull it out, see if that works, just to create a wee gap in the hedge. And hopefully it does work. If it doesn't, I'll just glue the whole hedge back down, which now looks like the plan. So that is that bit off. Get my tacky glue. It's almost like Blue Peter because I've got it exactly to hand. Stick it back on. And we've got the gap in the hedge as a starter. Now the other side might be a little more difficult because it's really quite tough for me to get in about here. I'm just going to try the same thing, see if I can manage that without destroying anything. Kinda. So I've now got the gaps in my hedge, which I'm happy about. Now you might wonder, what is the PVA glue for? Okay. Bearing in mind it's going to be a park zone, I've got this Jarvis Scenics scatter. Now it's number 31 Dark Earth, which I've used before. I like to actually mix it in. I just spilled something. I like to actually mix it in with some things, but what I'm looking to do is to give it that sort of realistic, earthy park look, which hopefully is achievable fairly easily. Just get that in there so that when I sprinkle it on, now I'm just going to sprinkle this on rather than use a sieve, as thick as I feel it needs to be, and take it for there. I'm going to sprinkle some onto that now it's wet with the PVA glue, and then spread it out quite simply doing that. And I think I'll need more, which is fine. You kind of get the effect already. For me, that changes the whole dynamic of that zone as soon as you put that scatter down. And I think I need plenty because I want it to come through to this side as well of the rails to sort of begin to take the gap, because nothing in real life is ever fully perfect, and I think it'll look a lot more realistic if I do that and create a little park area. So the next part with my PVA glue is to scoop it up with this pipette and start wetting it. And all of that, it'll ball up at first, but then it'll just take. and then bind it pretty much forever if there's enough there. Doesn't take too long. In fact, I think this whole video of me actually doing this stuff should take no longer than a few minutes. Well, I've seen that we're at 4 minutes already. Talking of which, if you've came this far already, you must be enjoying this sort of craft work, so why wouldn't you subscribe? If you like, it would be appreciated, and there's lots and lots more stuff like this going on all the time. Now, to get from one side to the other, and the gaps in the hedges, it's going to create a little footpath with some Hornby scatter, which hopefully turns out okay. If it doesn't, what's the worst that can happen? Well, I can scrape it all back up and start again, to be honest. But a well-beaten path between different areas of the town, I think it's going to look quite good. Not too scared about overlapping a wee bit, letting some stones go through. And once that dries in, you'll get that colour. Now that was the Hornby R7166 ballast limestone, quite a light ballast. Now, to sort of finish it, I made these. It's not perfect, but these wee trees, they were donated to me from a friend when I first started the model railway thing. And I think they look great as ornamental trees, so if you look closely, you'll see that it's very similar to some of the Metcalfe models and what you see on them, and there's a reason for that. This is Metcalfe model station brickwork that I just cut up. I made a wee box, glued it down, and then filled it with loads and loads of glue, and then sprinkled on some scatter. So the plan is, for this wee garden zone, to stick them in there, 1 and 2. I got lucky with that depth, didn't I? And then, now I might change this, but I have these wee benches that I'd like to just sort of go around there and let it all dry in. And then what we've got is, we've got a little, I don't know, town centre picnic area. Very quick. I'm not sure how much these trees cost. I'd say the total cost of making this zone is a few pounds. And I think it's going to turn out okay. Now what we'll do to have a proper look at it is go down to eye level, because I'm seeing it different to you guys, because I'm a little bit further down. So that'll stop here, do a little bit of tidying up, take it for there, and you can see it up close, just like that. So yeah, hang on, we're going to come down a bit and have a look. And here we have, what do you think? I think that looks okay. For me, it could have something in the middle, or maybe a fence at the back, which I can figure out. But I think that's pretty decent. I think if I can hold it steady enough where you can zoom in and sort of get a good look at that, yeah, it's got a fair dose of realism to it. Quite happy with that. That in itself's a nice picture to look at, so I'm going to relax back a bit to the normal size, and I think it fits in well with the layout. So yeah, success as far as I'm concerned, and it's moved the layout on just a little bit more. So thank you for watching, thank you for coming this far. I hope you enjoyed the creation of this little zone. You've came this far, so you might as well subscribe and see more stuff like this. Little ideas for your layout, whether it's Hornby, Lima, Pico, Bachman, whatever it is, take shape. So thank you. See you again, folks.